man, the scalping. You know how many scalps they had of these Europeans, Joe? Don't ever. You're not gonna get this. People don't understand. We get the story from the perspective of the people that got scalps. We're not getting the story from the perspective of the scalper. We're not getting the story from the perspective of the lion. You got the hunter telling you the story. And niggas is running around regurgitating and proliferating that version of the story. And my nigga, that's not it. It's deeper than that. It's shit that was going down. People was getting their ass handed to them. People was fighting back. They had to move strategically before they outwitted certain people. But when disease starts to kill some of the stronger people, and when disease starts to, weaken the interior of a people who will serve as a heavy defense and whatnot, and you rely into the same kind of war tactics that you used against the Moors during the quote-unquote bubonic plague and whatnot. You implemented germ warfare. That is a tactic that they perfected. And it seems, looking at the whole Wuhan thing, and from where my resources are pointing to, it seems like these Americans have somewhat, even perfected their quote-unquote proxy wars by letting biogenetic weapons go off, and then blame it on other people. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, Castro kicked the gangsters out. Castro kicked remember, he kicked the children of the slavers, the children of the cotton plantations and the candy, the sugar plantations, the families of the rum exporters and whatnot. Yeah, they all had to go. And the mobsters, But before the mobsters, it was these quote-unquote, planters, the original mafia, the original mobsters, the original narcos, the original dope boys. It's the European who came over here and he created an economic system. His foundation, the same foundation that is holding up your house, your hut, your mansion, your skyscraper, whatever you live in. The same concept. The foundation of everything that people say is this American dream. The foundation. The core is capitalism. And what is capitalism? The core is capitalism. And what is capitalism? Capitalism is basically getting the most from your dollar with the cheapest amount of labor, getting your return on your investment, the amount of flips that you can make. It's about the bottom line. So the bottom line in America or in the colonies at this level, in the 17, 18, at this point, what was it? Well, it was free labor, right? It was free labor forces. Ooh, not just free labor. Something deeper than just free labor. They were able to practice cannibalism. They were able to practice terrorism. They were able to enact pure dominance. They were able to do what? They were able to sexually exploit. They were able to take out all of their quote unquote sicknesses that they came over here with in the form of pus and boils. Well, now these sicknesses is on the brain, and these sicknesses is a part of the genetic makeup. So, Iceman inheritance, these sicknesses, like I said before, serial killings was taking place during the ages of slavery and chattel slavery. They were killing people. They were serial killers that would go inside of the quote unquote on plantations and kill slaves. There was free people. There were people who were not slaves being found in the woods and whatnot with their throats cut, women with their throats cut, and all kind of shit going on. The serial killing started the minute them ships pulled up. Let's be clear. That's why up until now, the majority of those people are of that descent. And the ones who are of quote-unquote melanated descent, let me tell you something. Let me explain something to you so you don't get it fucked up. You obviously may not have been doing further research about the races and the quote-unquote color of the quote-unquote indigenous races or the color of the tribes and the nations that inhabited what you call Europe in the 1700s, the 1800s, and the 1600s. Because when you look at the Europeans that came over here as the immigrants in the second immigration wave, the whole Ellis Island things, the fucking Italians was olive. Right? The Irish was dark as hell, right? And a lot of those Europeans, the Sephardi Jews and whatnot, you know what I'm saying? They had hair like this, Gene Wilder ass niggas. The niggas had curly froze. And some of them had schnauzers. And some of them had black noses. And then nobody talks about the mulattoes. Nobody talks about the mulatto races. Nobody talks about the millions of Bells. Remember the movie Belle, ladies? I know a lot of ladies seen Belle because, you know, that's for the ladies. You know what I'm talking about? Where you could fantasize being a fucking toy in one of these castles and whatnot, forgetting, you know what I'm saying, that nigga, we brought you into that party. You know what I'm saying? Stop it. Yeah, those was our castles. We was putting on all white parties before these niggas came up. So, you know, our coat of arms was flying higher than all of their shits. So even if you aspire to be on some Rapunzel shit and be a maiden of one of these fucking Dukes and Yorks, you know what I mean? Just remember, when we had the throne, how we had this shit rocking, and you're marrying down. You're downplaying yourself. You know what I'm saying? Look at how Queen Sheba was moving. You know what I'm talking about? Look how the real African queens was moving. You want to be a fucking concubine? You know what I'm saying? You just want to be a concubine? Because that's all that is. That's all they was exporting. Remember, the highest selling slave is a fancy girl. And a fancy girl is a mulatto. Especially, they were mostly seen in the Louisiana regions. They fetched for the highest price. The fancy girl. The European man. This is on record. The European man considered the quote-unquote mulatto fancy girl and the mulatto woman to be the finest specimen of woman on the planet, based on the fact of her admixture and her amalgamation, and she was the most desired. Remember, women's suffrage. Think about that. Women's suffrage. If they were treating their women like fucking dogs, what were they doing to our women? Only two things could have happened. There's only two possibilities. One, they was putting, they had their bottom bitch really on the bottom, and they was putting their side chick above her, which would be the black shorty, you know what I'm talking about? Or they had their bottom bitch, which was the white woman that they were married to and having these children with or whatnot. They had them, you know, on some shit where she was dominating their quote-unquote side concubine. Right? It was either or. It was either or. It was either that he was shitting on the Becky like, bitch, are you crazy? You know what I'm talking about? Do you see what I'm rolling with? You know what I'm talking about? Dude, look at her and look at you. Because that comparison was being made. These women were of us. When I say stunning beauty, I'm talking about stunning beauty. I've seen pictures. or paintings. When you look at our women in the 20s, when you look at our women in the 1800s, these women of stunning beauty. So when you look at the pictures of Pocahontas and the Indian sisters, what are you talking about? The fancy girls were the Indians. The fancy girls are Indian women, red bones. Some of them are Indian, some of them are mulattoes, Creoles or whatnot. But yeah, this is what they were doing. They were moving these women around like prostitutes. So and then I mean, that was one situation, but the way that my research is showing me, that was one thing. But then all women who are enslaved, from a point of 1808 when they were doing the coffles, walking people through all of these towns. You had coffles that had like 100 people on a chain gang. When I was locked up on Rikers Island, when I was locked up in Wayne County, when I was locked up in different places around the world, nigga, they still doing that. They got niggas walking on the chain gang. You gotta go left, right? You got a goddamn chain around your waist. You got the shit around your. You got the silver bracelets on, and they running you like the chain gang. They running you like a coffle when you in the pokey. When you in the Pokemon, and I ain't talking about Pokemon. When you locked up, when you're in jail. I don't give a fuck, ladies, if you got, if y'all got caught boosting at Walmart, you know what I'm talking about? You was switching tags at fucking Burlington or something, or you had a DWI. You know, women get it too. They got y'all on the chain gang as well, but the chain gang ain't go nowhere. The same, they call them irons. The same irons that they had on our brothers and sisters, that's the same irons that the COs come and drop on the floor. If y'all watching this and y'all COs right now, y'all are y'all slave catchers. You are recreating some shit because they had our people doing that back then. Don't get it fucked up. Or they had a mulatto doing it. But they had somebody doing it who looked like us. Don't get it fucked up. This is not it was a color thing. But my man, oh man, don't think that them boats of Europeans did not have some niggas on it. The Moors got converted into Moriscos. The Jews got converted into some Christians. Niggas got European names. And then they made a lot of them go lay up with the monks. They flipped them niggas. Over the years, this was in the 14 going in the 15. So by the time the 1700s come, they got a standing army of mulattoes in Italy and in Spain and shit like that. And in Portuguese and whatnot. And yeah, they bringing them niggas in Florida and running up and down, and them niggas is fighting and killing for them too. Fuck is you thinking? And the same way you niggas is running on the front lines right now. Fuck is you saying? The same way that you was running on the front lines in the Civil War, the Revolutionary War, the Indian War. You know what I'm saying? They play G.I. Joes all the time with niggas. That's a fact. Ain't it? They've had our people on the front line. Am I making this up? Niggas was in World War I, World War II, the Korean War, Panama War, Secret War, the fucking Avengers War, the Infinity Gauntlet War. You know what I'm saying? And was coming home and they was hanging niggas. How about that? They was coming home and getting hung, bro. They were coming home and people were treating them worse than the Nazis were treating, quote unquote Jews over there in Europe. So think about the mentality that was forming in the subconsciousness of the African American. Because this title holds validity when you think about it right now. When you think about what was the stock, what was the pedigree that was created in the sex farm. We got to talk about this. They breeded out the pure African. They breeded out the quote-unquote Indians. They interbreeded them. They intermingled them, and then they dropped their blood in there too. Do you know how many generations it takes to whiten up a fucking person? Do you know you can achieve that in 2 generations? They call it genetic bleaching. Go and look up genetic bleaching. Somebody give me an amen. Genetic bleaching. The Indians today are whiter. Nigga, the Puerto Ricans and Dominicans are whiter. Do you know it don't take long to whiten a nigga up? I could show you. It's on my Instagram, but it's on my inbox, and I can't go on my inbox from the computer right here, and I'm on the gram. I would have showed you. I got a picture right now of a black man from Sudan who had a white wife. They had a mulatto son. He married a white woman. The fucking child is white, bro. The little nigga looked like Justin Bieber. So you could, it's called genetic bleaching. You could genetically bleach yourself back into a fucking European in 2 generations. And please believe niggas is on that train right now. Stop playing with me. Stop playing with me. How many Barbies is out here playing with they Suki Hawaii and they will get with a fucking European so little Barquisha could have a fucking shot at having some original Suki Hawaiian hair? Shit, dumb shit like that. Oh, maybe we could shoot for Blue Eyes because she could be the new Blue Ivy. Come on. These niggas out here having Obamas. Yo, I want to mix, I want to create, these children in the middle. They're privileged, they could be the president of Mars one day when Elon Musk steps down. You know that nigga South African? Does anybody ask him how he feels about apartheid? Mr. Elon? Yeah, the girl Tamara from Sister Sister. Her son look like he's European. And then they have a talk with the progeny. They tell the progeny, look, we got mad money on that. We got mad inheritance off of cotton money, little nigga. We got tobacco money. You know what I'm saying? Little nigga, you. And if you bring a Meghan Markle through these colonial doors, you won't get none of this inheritance. You could play with it if you want. But the plan is to flatten the motherfucking those little non-ethers that's in your head to be trying to rise up. We trying to do away with that shit. So they tell the child with, probably 96% of R.H. Remus, in his blood. They're like, yo, go and get you a Becky and procreate. You know what I'm saying? And then, little Brandon and whatnot, he'll be the fucking breadwinner of the family. We'll put all kind of shit in his name. We will crown him. But come back home. And they doing that shit. You know what I'm talking about? They got arranged marriages, bro. What are you talking about? They got arranged marriages. Y'all hit that like button. Talk black to me. Y'all hit that like button. We didn't even get into the Malcolm shit yet. But this is the Malcolm shit. Why? Because they said it in the documentary. And I said it in my lectures that I want to make a documentary.